Set the tone. Well, it's just me and you alone.
Hey y'all, this is Lynn. I'm here with another video. This is gonna be a sit down chit chat with me. If you don't know, I had a previous channel and I'm coming back, so if you might look familiar, that's why. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and make sure you stay to the end, okay? Alright, so this is just gonna be, it's not really a story time, but it is concerning. I went from a corporate baddie. I just wanted to say that, y'all. I went from a corporate grown woman to now being retired. And I am absolutely too young to be retired, but well, there's not an age to retire, but according to what the USA says, I'm way too young to be retired. And to a full-time, I'm right now getting my fitness, but majorly I'm doing reselling. So I just wanted to give you all a life in a day of a ex-corporate woman to now a reseller. We're gonna see how this goes, y'all, because you know I'm used to getting up and going, so sometimes I find myself a little bit bored. But that's why it's good for people. People always want to talk about retirement, but the thing that I think that a lot of people should think about before they retire is what you're going to do. Don't just say relax and travel, because you're not going to travel 7 days a week, 365 days. You're going to travel maybe a week or two, every 3-4 months. But what are you going to do in your regular days? Sometimes when people retire, that's when they die, because they're dying out of boredom. Or if you see people working after they retire, a lot of times it could be boredom, but sometimes it's improper planning. So before you retire, you want to make sure that you are planning, which means one thing I will give you some advice on is make sure you pay off everything. If you can even pay off your home, if you're a homeowner, pay that off. But if not, pay off everything else and just have your home and your house, your household bills, and you should be fine when you retire, unless you need a lot of extra. But don't leave your job when you have car payments, credit cards, and all of that. If not, you're gonna have to try to figure out how to get those things paid so that you don't have so much money going out of the window. You want to keep as you want to keep as much money as possible so that you can still invest. Because look, even if you're 47, like I say, I got another 50 years to go. So that's a long time to live and not work. So you do want to find something else that you can do. It may not be at a traditional job, but you can now become that business owner that you've always wanted to be. Like me, for instance, I've always said I wanted to be a business owner, but I made such good money, that I just let it take me over, never completing things that I wanted to complete, never even sitting down thinking about what I wanted. It was always what everybody else needed and wanted from me, so I provided that for them, but never thinking about what it is that I really wanted. So I've actually been gone from my job since May 2025, and that has given me so much time to sit back and think about the things that I want to pursue and what do I want out of my life. The only thing that's different for me than a lot of retirees is that I still have a school-age child. A lot of people don't retire if they have school-age children, but I did. And I have a school-age child that's actually in private school. So that's another expense for me. So that's something that you also have to look at when you're retiring. But back to me. So I had to figure out, what did I like? What did I want to do with the remainder of my time? Did I want to go back to a job? And if I did go back to a job, a dilemma that I faced is I can't find a job making as much as I made at my previous job. See, I was offered a job, but I think they wanted to pay me $62,000 a year. I made double that. I made double plus some, almost triple that at my previous job. So, I'm not going to go in there for you to give me more work, and I'm making less than half of what I made at my previous job. Unless you really need the money, then I would say go for it. But you know, I'm just going to stay out here and do my own thing. Reselling has its ups and downs because it is a business like any other business. So, you know, you have certain months that are high and other months that are low. It really depends on what you have and how much inventory you have. The downside about reselling is you have to have the inventory unless you're doing what is drop shipping. And drop shipping is not really reselling, it's drop shipping. So that's the only way you don't have any inventory or any overhead. So that's the issue. If you have overhead and you have a lot of inventory, you have to have storage. So if you don't have storage in your home, then you have to have storage, like a storage unit. But the good thing is that I have storage in my home, which I can store all my items. And a lot of my items did come from my home, because when you're working, this is what I've learned since I retired. When you're working, you're out just buying and buying and buying and buying, when in actuality you don't need or use half of the stuff you got. So I have so much stuff. Plus I'm gifted a lot of things because of the internet, and I'm also PR'd on some items because of the internet. So and I have worked with a couple brands that were, you know, that I've gotten items still had tags on them. So now I'm in the business of cleaning out my entire house and putting everything that is not being used up for sale. So I'm willing to sell a lot of things out of my home that are brand new and lightly used or slightly used, however you want to say it, to that's extra income. But that is just for me to put into my retirement plan and my IRA, or also just paying off some things for my son, because you know he's still begging. What else I wanted to talk about? I wanted to talk about getting into all right, y'all, I get on this camera and guess what? My mind says I have everything that I want to talk about, and my mind says nope, you know, you're not going to remember. But anyway, I wanted to talk about getting into content creation full time. Okay, a lot of people want to get into content creation full time. I'm not sure about the younger people. I'm speaking about women that are in my age group, and you know, age group from like 40 to mid 50s. That's the age group I'm talking about. Okay, so women, if we're trying to get into the area of content creating, there's a lot of work for us. But the thing is, content creation is not as easy as it looks. It is a lot of work. If you get into the fashion industry, you have to put these clothes together and try them on. See, that's where I differ from a lot of women with the fashion industry. I don't actually put them together like how I would wear them until I'm about to wear them. I'm strictly on here just showing you what I received so you can see how they fit on me and my my body stature. So I just strictly try mine on. I don't style them. So I know the women that do style theirs or has a stylist, they have a lot more to do than I do. But content creation is not as easy as it looks. Like I stated previously, it's a lot of work because you have a lot of behind the scenes. Like sometimes you get items, they don't fit. So then you got to come up with something else, or you have to wait and postpone that video, or you have to add another piece. But being in the fashion industry, you're constantly changing your clothes, like I told you prior, and it's a lot of work. It's tiring. And then you're editing. If you don't have anybody to edit, then you have to edit. Then when you put that video out, for some of us, it doesn't get that many views because you're not as popping as other. Well, you're not just not. And I'm not going to say you're not as popping, but I'm going to say that you're not as known as other creators. So therefore, your video may not get as many views initially. But one thing you always got to remember, and I have to tell myself this many times, is that this video is up here for as long as your channel's up here. So people can see this video for years to go. So my real reason of coming on here was to tell you all that I think what I'm going to start doing is like life in a week or life in a day of a, I don't know if you can call me, I didn't retire because I wanted to. I retired sort of kind of because, you know, you kind of had to because of what's going on in the world at this moment. Of a corporate woman that has turned reseller creator. full-time or a mom, a full-time mother. I've always been a full-time mother, but now I really am. I am nothing but a Uber, a chef. So I don't know if I should call it, I don't know what I should call it, but guess what, I'm gonna call it something because I'm going to bring it to you. I want to document things, so I'm going to make sure I document that. So I don't know how long this video is, but I just wanted to come on here and give you a little, whatever this is, synopsis. I came on here really, I'm sorry, I came on here really just looking any kind of way, but it's just an impromptu video. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and make sure you look out for my videos because they are coming. And I just want to thank you all for whoever watched this. Thank you so much. You're gonna get so much more from me now that I'm home. I had to get my mind right. You know, people don't tell you, I wasn't really depressed, but people don't tell you the highs and the lows of when you've been doing something for so long. I've been working since I was 15. So I've been doing it for so long that it's just a habit to want to get up and run. And then when you have all that time on your hand, sometimes you don't know what to do with yourself. So I had to get it where I got comfortable with having all the time on my hands and figuring out my life. Because being a worker is a lot different than being a business owner. You have to motivate and get yourself up on your own. And I was having a little trouble with that. So now I'm better at it. So let's see what we do. All right, guys. Love you. See you next time. Bye. Bye. I'm always looking in the viewfinder, but y'all over here. Bye.